We escaped a mortuary.
We are at the Missing at the Mortuary experience, I think is what they're calling it. It's going to be really cool. It's an escape room, but also a tour of the mortuary. It's located in Pasadena. So if you guys are local in the area, come check it out. We're actually going to give you an exclusive interview with one of the co-owners of it as well. So we're super excited. We're going to go in, we're going to do it. Hopefully we're going to get out and not get stuck in the mortuary forever. But if this is our last video we upload, you don't know why. We just got back from doing both the escape room and the tour. We'll talk about the escape room first. We didn't do it just ourselves. We initially thought it was just gonna be the two of us, so I was a little bit like, okay, we're gonna have to put our brains to the test, see if we can get out with just the two of us. I was hopeful, but luckily I'm gonna say they put us with 6 other people who were able to help us kind of navigate the puzzles and stuff like that. And we got out with
17 seconds left.
Or 13 seconds, I don't actually remember.
17.
But the picture's right here. Yeah, we got out with seconds to spare, which is always exciting when you do an escape room. And we both did really well. We both solved a lot of the puzzles, and the other people that they helped out as well. So it was really cool. Highly recommend.
It took place in a, like he said, in a real life mortuary. You go in and there's like a viewing.
Yeah, like there's a casket there. Again, we're not going to give too much away.
No, we're not. But
like
it's just
the
like
entrance is a very cool. Like they set it up to be basically a viewing of a recently deceased friend of yours. So it's super cool. Very, very cool.
And then you go into the mortician's office. And there's also like a room where the bodies are. It was set up really, really cool.
Yeah, so we're excited about it. But that's the escape room. So very cool. Check it out. Their link's going to be in the description if you guys want to go and see what they've got going on. But they also have other things going on. Another thing that we did was the tour. Tour was super cool as well because again, it's in a real life mortuary where real life crimes were committed. And we got to go kind of see kind of the underbellies of it. You're going to see some B-roll of it as we are going to talk over it.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is that there's like an electrician
yeah,
business.
It's weird. Like half of the building is owned by an electrical or electrician supplier.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that were mortuary rooms were also
like stock.
Yeah, it was strange, but it was still cool.
It was interesting. Yeah. And you go in and the tour guide has like a lot of pictures. Like we went to a break room where she showed us pictures of what used to be there. And it's kind of weird that it's a break room.
Yeah, because it was the embalming room.
Yeah, the floor was a type of material for all the blood and everything to like
run off to vent or grate that was on the side. The grate was filled in; it wasn't there anymore. But you could still see it was like the original floor.
Like on the wall in the corner, the walls were curved. It was very interesting.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. Then you go into the basement. And in the basement, you have the place where they used to store the bodies. Yeah. Again, you'll see in the images that it's full of electrical supplies.
Lights in this case, like halogen lights or fluorescent lights.
Yeah, but you can see like what used to be where they put the bodies. Then you go further. We went into this place that was very cold. The part where she said that some people saw apparitions.
Saw apparitions. I went in there, I shined my light around everything. I looked in the crawl space. Creepy crawl space. Not going to say that that's not creepy, but I saw nothing. I felt nothing. It was cold in the room, but it was cold out.
We went further in. There was an area where there was a lot of stains on the floor. Yeah. And apparently that was full of blood.
Real blood stains.
Yeah, no, it was... You'll see, but it was just real blood stains. Yeah. We went outside, and that's where they had bodies lined up for. What had happened was that the mortician, the person that owned the mortuary, was illegally what's it called?
He was harvesting organs. So
Right.
people, I'm going to cut it real short. I'm going to paraphrase it a lot. Shout out to Noel, the other co-owner of this. She's the one that took us through, and she's got so much knowledge about everything. Yes, hearts to you. But she had a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about kind of everything that's happening there. But basically, the paraphrase was this guy, Stance, I think was his name.
Stance, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was like $100 that time to go and get loved one embalmed, cremated, so on and so forth. But he was doing a deal for $50. And everyone's like, this guy's great. He's offering a discount for people who are blah, 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 blah. But it turns out he wasn't quite the family man that you thought he was. He was collecting bodies. He'd take them into the back and he would take out their corneas of their eyes or gold out of their teeth, a whole bunch of different, and he was harvesting their organs, like literally.
Yeah.
And then he would, when they would be cremated, instead of it being like a person at a time going in, he would throw like 19 bodies into the crematorium just to kind of shove them all in, cut down on cost. Dude was a smart businessman for what it was, but definitely not on the up and up. So he did do all that, and then with all the harvesting of the organs and everything like that, the ashes were off weight, so he would actually fill it in with like concrete. So if you ever had anybody that has been cremated at the Lamb Mortuary, you might have other people in that urn, and you might have some quickcrete in that as well. So just heads up.
Yeah, but outside is where they had the bodies, because this guy, he called his football team that he used to play sports with to actually help with the bodies, and this was all outside in the courtyard.
Yeah.
After the courtyard, she took us into the freezer.
Yeah.
Which was also very interesting. It was just interesting to be inside a freezer with
that's cool.
bodies.
I wanted to see if the unit still worked, and she said she wasn't sure, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Then we went back inside. We went into the room where the viewing used to be.
Yeah. Now the front desk for the electrician shop, but still you could kind of tell. She had pictures of what it used to look like with the flowers and what would be the casket and everything. So it's really interesting, really, really cool. And then kind of the last part of the tour, whereas there was these little filing cabinets that were there that were just list of all the people that have been through there, and it wasn't everybody. There was tons more, but this was just kind of what was left.
But it was a lot. It was a lot of cards.
It was a lot for what was in there.
And she said that the first time she looked through them, she just went into a random one. She didn't notice that was an L as the category.
Yeah.
And she took out the owner of the mortuary and his son, which were the last name Lamb.
Yeah.
And she thought it was interesting.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Also, the guy who did all this stunts or whatever, he's out. He's living somewhere in the world right now. He's alive, not in jail.
Noel asked us how long we think that he was in prison for, and some people said life sentence. I said 15 years. You said like 80 years or something like that. I don't remember what I said.
I was way off.
And she was like, no, he got 5 years. And I said, oh, did he die? And she's like, no, he's out. He would be about 65 right now.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, do you think they're going to come visit? And she said, hopefully not. But very, very interesting experience. We had such a great time, and we're so grateful to Allison and Noel.
But they also do other events too. They're doing like a horror comedy show kind of thing, so we're probably going to go back and check that out. And then this one I'm actually really excited for. They're doing murder mystery dinners. And they're going to be doing another one soon that I really want to go to, because I love that kind of stuff. I've done those before, and I've always really enjoyed it.
So before we went into the escape room, we had a talk with Allison, who is part owner of the experience, and we had a short interview with her. So here it is.
Yeah. So we are here with Allison.
Hello.
She is one of the co-owners?
One of the co-owners,
yes, one of the co-owners of the Missing at the Mortuary escape room, and the tour that we're going to do as well. So it's super cool. We're really excited about it. Question that we had for you is, why? Why is this whole thing the thing that you guys came up with? What's kind of the plan?
So it's funny. So what came first was the location. We were fortunate enough to be able to have the location where we could set up whatever we wanted. So it kind of started off as like, what can we do here? And Noel knew about this building she's the other co-founder. She knew about this building before, so she knew a lot about the history of this place. And when she told me about it, we were like thinking, what's something unique that we could do with the history that kind of helps to kind of like spread it around, because I feel like it's not super known, even though it's kind of like a big event that happened, and we landed on escape room. And
Cool.
we just thought that that would be kind of like a fun, immersive way to kind of like learn about what happened here and kind of bring a little, lighten up the story a little bit of what happened here.
Very cool. Yeah. So we are super excited for it. So what would you say would be like the biggest draw? Like what brings the most people in?
I'm pretty sure that this is the only escape room that happens at a true crime location.
I would think so too.
So
yeah.
I think that's kind of like our biggest draw and
Yeah.
appeal. And our escape room is, I like to say, loosely based off of the true crime, because we still want to respect kind of like the victims that came through here.
Of course, yeah.
But it is really interesting to kind of like, there are kind of some like hints to the actual story. So it's kind of cool to kind of like put yourself through a true crime in the actual location
That is
where
cool,
the true
yeah.
crime happened. So.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of true crime.
Oh yeah, she knows
Do you guys
all the
already
true
know
crime
about the
stuff.
story or like the
I don't,
history
dude.
of this?
Do you
I
know
read a
him?
little bit
Yeah.
about it.
Okay,
I know
okay.
about,
I
like,
won't
Jack
spoil
Parsons.
any of it because I know
Okay,
you guys
cool.
are going on the tour.
Yeah, it's
That's
super
cool.
exciting. So how long have you guys been here? Like how long has this been your kind of situation?
So we started talking about it back in April of last year, and then we officially opened in October of this past year. So we've only been open for a couple months.
Yeah, wow, that's cool.
so cool.
6
I thought
months,
it had been
yeah.
longer, yeah.
I know, yeah. We've only been open for 6 months. We really wanted to start before October, kind of like the spooky season, because I feel like that's very in line with what we do.
Oh yeah, it's
Of course,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were hustling to get it done by October, and now we've been open for 6 months.
That's
Cool, great.
awesome.
Well, this was Allison. Come check it out. It's in Pasadena. If you're local, come by. It's super awesome. Any parting words for the people that you want to get them to come in?
Well, although we just do an escape room and tour, we are always expanding. So we've actually started doing comedy shows at the Mortuary. I don't know if you guys have heard about those.
I have not.
I
but
have,
That's
yeah.
cool.
We do 2 comedy shows a month currently. One of them is our Dress to Kill comedy show. The
Nice.
other one is Horror Nerd by Samantha Hale. She's been doing it, I think, at the Hollywood Improv for a while, but she's
Okay.
bringing it here as well.
Wow, very cool.
cool.
And in addition to that, we've also started doing murder mysteries. And so for that one, it's
Nice.
a 24-person murder mystery. A little bit of the story is you've been invited to a funeral, but the body's missing and the guy was murdered.
Love it.
that's so
And
I love murder mysteries. We'll be
it's
back,
one
yeah.
where every person who attends gets a character. And so
Yes,
you're
yes.
very involved in the
yes.
story,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you don't know if you're guilty or you're innocent. So it's like, as you talk to people, you're like thinking, oh, did I
That's
do
cool.
it?
Yeah.
That's
a great
so,
Yeah,
idea.
I've
That's
done a few
awesome.
and they're a lot of fun. So we'll be back for that. We will definitely be
Awesome.
back for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are the Deadly Duvals, and this was Allison from Missing at the Mortuary, and we will see you guys after we hopefully escape.
hopefully, yes.
All right, see you guys.
Again, if you're ever in Pasadena, check them out, because not only is it super fun, but it's a very interesting story that I did not know, and I love true crime and I did not know. So
So that's it.
That's it.
We did it. We got stuck in a mortuary, but we got out with.
17 seconds to spare.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in like you do every week or sometimes twice a week with us. We truly appreciate you guys. Leave comments below. We love to read those and respond to those. And with that, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.